Guten Tag, meine Damen, meine Herren.
Good morning, hello, ladies and gentlemen. The topic today, this afternoon, is a bit dry but important. Energy efficiency applications. We're talking about renovation. Why do we renovate? The ban, the interdiction on lamps, we heard about it as of next year. My name is Nitschke. I am from IK light.de. So working group licht.de. Who is licht.de? It is a neutral platform. You can find us on level 0, 3.0, in existence for more than 50 years. We are a neutral source of information, the accumulated knowledge of the light industry. I work for one manufacturer. We are neutral source of information. Good for you if you need information. So we are contact partners for everything that deals with light, and our target group, our customers, are people who are interested in light: planners, installation, architects, owners of a building, operators, and consumers. And we do have a manifold information offer on the internet, just like our publications that you can also see downstairs in Hall 3.0. And we do have this very intense PR activity. Look at this picture. So this is what we have seen. This is what we have. And there are far too many of those lighting solutions. 60 to 70% of lighting designs have to be renovated and are outdated. I personally am working in the light industry since the year 1980. I always dealt with renovation of light lamps. Do you remember the 38mm fluorescent lamp? So they changed up to 26mm in the past. They are the ones that are phased out because we simply have better alternatives. Looking at this chart, you see that every year we talk about 12.3 billion euros spent for electricity for the lighting design, and we're doing so in areas that are non-residential housing. We talk about 2 million of them in Germany. It is the buildings, the non-residential buildings, where we also need heating. We talk about garage, about agriculture. So garages are not included. Agricultural buildings are not included. And we talk about a net volume, a net floor area of 3.5 billion. And 4% are being renovated every year. So it'll take 25 years until everything is renovated and up to the latest state of the technology. So we strive to make headway. And that's what I'd like to show. This graph shows you. Jürgen Waldorf has already shown you. Jürgen Waldorf from ZVEI. These are the official regulations. So next year, the thinner and the thicker fluorescent lamps T5 and T8 are no longer allowed to be sold. If you have if you know a wholesaler who sells, you're allowed to sell, but we're no longer manufacturing them. And then we also said this red symbol is important for us. The old lamps cannot be used for domestic waste, so don't throw them away in your domestic waste. And then in August we have two regulations, ecological design and ROAS, so no mercury via the lighting products, and that's why it is being phased out. And that only works if we have efficient alternatives. And if we retrofit everything, think about the old units, something we discussed at the beginning. So this is what we had before. We're talking about energy cost savings. Nothing is more updated and topical than saving energy costs. The old products are being phased out. That's good for our environment, less CO2 emissions, and I will show you a chart later. It is good for our employees. Better light, better working conditions, more performance, fewer errors. So light has an enormous influence on the working performance and the number of errors. Renovation in different ways and manners. The most simple solution, it's retrofitting. That's simple, right? As you see, retrofit is not the best solution, but at least the easiest. It's better not to change a new light bulb in an old lighting system, just change the entire lamp. So savings potential will increase, but also the effort will increase. It is even better if we do something that we call light management. Are we doing that? Sometimes. Often, not really. So that's what we have to do. And during this time, in the next years, we'll see that everything that is operational will have light management. And I am from light.de. So we give you a lot of hints for light planners, for those who plan lighting design. And if you plan light design professionally with the right values and the right factors, by taking into account the right criteria as part of a professional light planning, one can save even more energy. Can you quantify? Oh, yes, we can. So here again you see this staircase graphed in a different way. You see the savings values, relative savings values on a percentage basis. You can also double-check in euros in your current situation. And you save up to 80%, as I just said, by taking into account a day light and presence control and professional light planning. Looking at all the building blocks, what do we need? Of course, we need a lamp. The lamp has a certain efficiency. Do you know the subsidy program, BEG, German federal subsidies for efficient buildings? It is easy to get the money from the state, 15% of the retrofit. And the requirements for this subsidy light strips is 140 lumen per watt. The light industry can do much more than that. We talk about 180 lumen per watt in our light bands. If you see this, if you have this type of lamp in your company, in your installation, you save energy. You save money only by having an efficient and better lamp. If we talk about this lamp, we have this optical sensor. There are significant differences when we talk about significance, and if you have better optics, minus 20%, so a lot of savings. You save 20%. Fewer lamps, less performance, and still, at the end of the day, the lifespan. So you have different products. We have this so-called LAT value, 50,000 hours. And after 50,000 hours, 20% less light. And we have products that are not as good. After 50,000 hours, 30% performance loss. They will be cheaper, of course. Quality is an important question. We talk about the life cycle of a product and the price. So these efficiency components are required for a lamp. We also have the sensors. The sensors will be most sustainable when we talk about daylight and the presence as checked on this chart. So we see daylight daylight is used, we have the first row of lamps, and then we start to dim the light, because in the room you have the daylight, as we see it right here. So this is an essential component of high savings, depending on the daylight you have. And you see, the building energy laws give us a lot of help for the calculation, so that we can see that we can do the daylight calculation. So this looks like a very professional way of planning the light situation in your building. And here again you see presence sensors, daylight usage, you see what happens during the day. And we also have savings potential. This is how we generate our savings potential. Now I would like to see some scales. Here we go. Everything in balance. The best balance is your energy savings level. And on the other hand, the light quality. There is one thing we should not do. Energy efficiency is not top and light quality down. Energy efficiency is not always king. As part of a professional light plan, all these factors at your right-hand side are being planned. And we see that our employees have a better performance, less errors, produce fewer errors. So we should always be in balance. And our efficiency is something that you see with the energy consumption and the life cycle and the light control. So light quality plays a special role if we have a good system that is planned professionally. And for this chart again, since 1995, our colleague who did this on behalf of the Metal Workers Union. And he wrote this as a university thesis, and he wanted to see and prove what happens with workers' performance if you have a higher level of light. So these are all metalworking activities. So there is just one yellow line, and that's the punch. You cannot improve. Punching requires light. Punching operation, you see no changes. All other activities indeed led to a situation where more light led to a significant improvement in performance. And the punch is also important for the error rate. That is an exemption to the rule. All other activities lead to a situation where the error quota is reduced by increasing the strength of the light. Number of employees who felt tired with the light situation, we understood that all activities led to a situation where better light improves your general fitness, so you feel less tired. Part of my presentation deals with simplifying things, and since I am from licht.de, I must say we have also issued a checklist, for instance. Well, if a unit is discussed today, many people simply have some piece of paper and say, let's check the lighting design. Do you check all criteria that are important? Let us see. I asked one of our wholesalers in lighting design, 4 people, if you have a task for light calculation and light plans, how about the percentage of cases where you need further information? Oh, 3-digit, 100%. Everybody asks. It's 100%. The majority of questions for light has errors. They require further information. They do not have all the data. They do not have the checklist. And we talk about the number of additional questions, and maybe you reduce the number of further queries. We, as licht.de, give you all the information. This is also true for the planning for all relevant applications. We have tables, we have hints, we have guidelines, everything that you can do better if you need professional light planning. At the right-hand side, financing via BEG, the German federal government gives you subsidies, 15% of the costs for the owner of a building. And the energy consultant, here again you get 50% subsidies, and also planning. If you do light planning, you might also receive subsidies. And it is pretty important in further phases of light design and planning and installation and maintenance. We from light.de have the right information for you that will help you to operate, to commission your light installation and to operate it well and efficiently. So what we are doing this, have been doing so since a long, long time. Further information, examples for renovation projects, retrofitting, technical information, contact partners for light design, overview, checklists. That's one of my favorite topics, checklists with light.de for a download and further information if you want to. These are examples, and we've just published all the examples. We've got an office corridor. Energy savings, old to new, is 80%. If you have a light control system, it depends. We have the sensors, movement sensors, and shows you whether many people are present or not. And that's how you implement it. And again, we've got this installation with 80% where you also include a dimmer in the calculation. Let's have a look at the logistics hall right here. We talk about savings of 65%. Just think you have shelves. So we have areas where we have staplers. They're moving back and forth, the forklifts. So for the C part, you save a lot. In the main hall, you save maybe 25%. So it does make a lot of sense if you have this logistic project. And if you say that before, you use sensors to measure the savings. And if the owner of the building doesn't say, I'd like to have a light control system, daylight plays a major role because most logistic halls do have skylights or windows in the walls, but skylights, most of them have really good skylights as a cupola or as a light strip, so the skylights help a lot. So this increases the strength of daylight and reduces the energy consumption. So this is the break room. That also is a good example. Energy savings. And all examples can be found at licht.de, licht.de, for good reasons to retrofit, especially when we talk about increasing energy prices. I don't know where you stand when it comes to energy prices. 3 years ago, we talked about energy prices. It was 18 cents. A couple of weeks ago, 30 cents. Looking at the feedback of my colleagues who talk to customers, energy prices, I think it's like 40 cents right now. And this is something that absolutely has to be taken into account. If I talk about energy savings, it is the second price tag. This is how much the lamp is, and this is how much you save. Do not only talk about the price tag. There is a second price tag. How much do I save? ROAS, conventional lamp, single lighting regulation. So the subsidies also for municipalities as part of the National Climate Protection Initiative. We talk about 25% subsidies for sports activities for municipalities. This is available and has been so for many years. And let us change for a smarter and greener future. If you want to read some more, downstairs, Hall 3.0, we have all the publications here. So everything is here. This is one of the information activities, and apart from that, always check our website, our videos. We have more and more videos, more and more newsletters. You can get them from our agency. And of course, our social media channels. That was it. Thank you very much.